Hey everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. I've got a really cute last minute quick Christmas tree that you can paint using your paint pens that you've got. I used a combination of glitter and colors to make this adorable tree. It takes no time at all, so enjoy the tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. So I've got a bunch of 1M pens back here. The only one that's not is I have one glitter green. That's a 3M, but it has a pretty smaller point. It's a little bit different point that comes on the glitter pens than the regulars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing on my rock. Now I've got a just number 2 pencil here. I try to leave a very light touch. So hopefully you'll be able to see. I try to grab a nice light rock so that you can see what I'm doing without me having to press too much. It's more of like just a little bit of a sketch that I do on my rock, just because with lighter colors you can end up pulling some of that pencil lead into your color. So just the simple triangle shape here, and then I am going to give myself a little trunk, and I also am going to put a star on top, and I draw my stars just like I did when I learned how. Okay, just like that. That's a little bit darker. For those of you coming in live right now, hello. I see your comments going by. Thanks for saying hi. Once you've got your triangle on here, we're going to start to divide up our tree into different sections, just like a mosaic would be. So I like to start in the corner. You can create some larger pieces first, and then we're going to actually corner off some pieces that are created. So you can make kind of T intersections. A lot of times I'll make larger pieces and then split them so that I can have nice lines. You can do like a diamond shapes, triangle shapes. I'm going to split this trunk in half, but I'm just going to go around the whole thing and create different shapes and pieces. I try not to overthink this too much, but I do want to make sure that we're fairly similar in size. We're going to add some smaller ones at the end to create like a illusion of lights on the tree as well. All right, and once you've got a good amount of pieces on here, I'm going to take and create areas where I will have a couple little dots of color. Most of it's going to be green. So you're going to create these tiny little triangles like that on the tips of some of them. Just these tiny little spaces. And we can always add more when we're coloring it in. But I do like to delegate a few spots right off the bat here. And let's do one way up here. All right. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start coloring in. Sorry, I have this other rock back here so I can lean it. Coloring in the tree. I've got my 1M dark green and light green and glittery color here that I'm going to use. So this will take a little bit of time. I know live this can get a little monotonous, but take more time when you're at home. I'll try to move quickly just because I am live. But when you're working at home, if you need to take little breaks here and there, take breaks. My main rule of thumb is I don't like any of my pieces to be the exact same color right next to each other, okay? So as I'm moving around, so I know I have 3 greens, so there could be light green, glitter, light green, glitter. So now I know I want this one to be dark green. So kind of make little mental notes, or if you need to switch between the colors while you're filling them in, you just want to make sure that you don't end up with large areas all in the same color. So I usually do 3 or 4 of one color, then I'll switch to the next. And see, like I'm going to want something dark green in here somewhere, so I'll do this one dark green, things like that. So I'm actually going to switch and start doing a couple in a different color here. Right in under that star. And again, so now when you're using your second color, I know this one's going to be glitter, so this one needs to be light green. That one would be glitter because it's touching these. So this one could be glitter and this one can be light green. So I just constantly am trying to look so that I make sure I'm not going to end up with two touching. See, like this one here will have to be dark green because this one can't be light green and I can't have two glitters together. So I'll go ahead and do this one light green. Now, if you find yourself in a large predicament where you just can't figure out what to do, the best solution is just to add another line. Just split the piece. See, we're going to have those two catching corners, but they're not actually touching, so it's okay. All right, so we'll start filling in some of these glitter ones. Now the tip on this one is a little bit bigger, but we're going to clean up all these edges with a 1M black Posca at the end. It will give it that really mosaic look. And even though like the glitter is pretty close to the dark green when it's wet, when it dries, it will have a different look to it. See? That ended up close. So let's put a light there. Remember how I said we could add lines? So we're going to put a light there. We'll take away this light. There we go. And then this final corner here. As you can see, it's already looking nice, but I'm telling you, once we add on these black lines, it takes it to a whole nother level. So for those of you watching live, I appreciate you sticking around here. You can say where you're from if you're watching. Sometimes you can find somebody in your area that loves painting rocks. I see a couple people saying hi, a couple thumbs ups and hearts. Always like seeing those. I'm gonna do one layer. Remember how I was talking about sometimes you can see the pencil through. On yellow, you definitely can. So that's gonna need more than one layer. We're gonna add in our color in a few places in here. So we've got red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue. We've got a yellow star at the top, so we can do one less of those. Maybe on this side. There we go. Okay, this is the fun part. This is where you'll start to really see it pop. So now I'm going to take my black 1M and I'm going to start outlining each and every one of these shapes. Now I'm going to start at the top of the tree just because I painted the bottom last. So, or you could sit and actually let your rock dry really well in between. Now this again, you're going to want to take your time. You want your lines to be nice and crisp. You don't want to pick up your pen in the middle of a line of one of the shapes. You can pick it up in the corners, obviously. I tend to because I can draw nice and straight in certain directions. So a lot of times I'll draw the line and I'll turn the rock because I can pull in this direction easier. And you'll quickly start to see how cool this will look. See how cool? I've got this one spot here that I need to fix with my yellow, but other than that, this is exactly how I will keep it. And like with these pens, it's great because you can just go in. It might take a couple coats of the yellow to cover up the black here. We're gonna go ahead and add that right there. Oh, I found another line I missed. Make sure you really look it over, because if you find one spot, look right here on top of this blue light. I had missed. If you miss one spot, it will stick out like a sore thumb if you don't get to it. So I'll crisp up this outline here real quick once that yellow is dry, but we're done. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know what you think, like I said before, in the comments, and we'll be back again soon with another fun rock painting tutorial for you. Bye-bye now.